Well, good morning, January 9th, 2021, 5:43 a.m. This is the second video. First one, little long. Gonna try better. First thing that I wanted to talk about is it's been a week now, and I've been clear the whole time, man. It feels amazing. A video that I made prior to my last when I was walking around outside, yeah, YouTube pulled that video within a half an hour of me uploading it. No reason given. No strikes, no warnings, nothing. Just poof, gone. Few of you have commented on it. I didn't even get to read the comments in their entirety. Gone. There's just no even. There's not even a trace of it in my YouTube studio. It's interesting, right? But in that video, I talked about David and Goliath, and I'll get to that in a minute. But first, I just wanted to say that I would never suggest prayer in place of medical treatment for the cerveza. Ever. That said, I've been clear, and it's through prayer. But God, as he did to Job, in this case, not to compare myself to Job, mind you, he allowed the devil to do what he did to me for not only God's glory, but for my benefit. To not only get me better, but to get me back to him in prayer, because I had fallen away from it for so long, and I realized it. And upon that realization and beginning to pray to the Lord, just having conversations with him, even, I go into it thinking I'm gonna have a short talk with God, right? And it ends up being long, and it's cool. But I'll admit it, man, it really is super important. If you're anything like me, you've fallen away in a few areas, take that for what it is. He allowed the bad things to happen for good. He might just well be doing this to the country too. But in the time we're in, I don't know. That's sketchy. But we as individuals need to step up and out and away from all this, man. Secondly, let's get on the David and Goliath thing, because this is what was in that last video. I'll try to summarize it. David was just an innocent, humble sheep herder or a shepherd, right? And I believe it was the Philistine army came up against the army of, I don't remember the technical words for things, but you know the story, right? David stepped up and up against Goliath when no other soldier who had been trained to fight in battle, who had the armor and the spears and the swords and all that stuff, man, just full-blown badass trained killers. Along comes David, just a good shot, that's all he was, with a sling, and he knocked that guy's ass out, killed him. All he had was the whole armor of God. He was trained up in righteousness. Yeah, he had some training, right? I've spoke about this numerous times in the past, but he had some training. The only training he had was in basically target practice, man. But all the rest of his training was in the Lord. Do you see where I'm going with this? It was his faith. was built. All his trust was in the Lord. Everything he had was in the Lord. Nothing at all in his own ability, except that he was a good shot. God gave him the increase in everything else in that time, in that moment. From that time and moment, look at all the good that came of it. He's had his temptations. But he still was a man after God's heart. So I want you to put that into context, okay? I mean, I myself personally, I bought so much armor this last year. New, fresh gear. Updating my rifles, everything. I built a new range. I've been practicing constantly. But all my faith and confidence is in the Lord, man. All of it. Because just look at these guys on YouTube alone. So many of these guys are just freaking ninjas, man. They're full-blown badasses. And if you really think that you're going to come up against these guys, you got another thing coming. It would take 200 of you to just get by one of these guys, man. They're incredible. Warriors. Now, if they have the power of the Spirit within them as well, that means they're on our side. But then there's guys like me. Look, I'm not no badass. I'm no ninja by any stretch of the word either. My countenance is on the Lord and the power of the Spirit. Should I ever be called, then I'll be ready. I'll stand out as David did. And if I fall, then I fall. And if I stand, I stand. But that's all on the Lord. As long as it be to his glory, for his people, in defense of innocence. I'm not going to tolerate tyranny. I'm not going to tolerate someone trying to take my home or anyone in my family or my land or any of that. No, it's not going to happen. As long as I'm standing, it's not happening. And I'll only be able to stand with the power of the Lord. You know, same for you. We can't come up against the armies of the world on our own, or even in small groups. We need to have Christ on our side. Just think on that, all right? This whole Trump thing, man, haven't you seen the guy for what he is now? He's a Zionist. So is Biden. All of them are. They're all trained by the Jesuit colleges. They're all under Rothschild control and Rockefeller. Just keep denying it. What happened to the wall? What happened to having problems finding funding for this wall that we needed to keep out all these infiltrators? What happened to all that? That's been gone quite some time now. What happened to all the other charades that have gone on throughout everything? Poof, gone. It's always crisis on top of crisis and on top of crisis to distract you from this and that and the other thing. And here we are in this, and you still have hope for this man. Your trust and your hope has been misplaced this entire time. And I'm not the only one been trying to tell you this. And there's people out there on all these platforms that are so good at this, that show you facts, that provide you links, that you're still not paying attention. can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's the fact. It's true. You can't get water out of a rock. Either you're preaching to the choir anymore, or you're preaching to a bunch of zombies. What are you? I don't want to be the guy to sit here and try to convince you of XYZ or to tell you how to think. But once again, I'm just a dude with a S7 and an internet connection trying to get you to think, trying to provoke some thought, some reason. Trying to encourage you to look in the opposite direction of where you are looking now. Make your own conclusions. Make your own decisions. Have your own perspectives and opinions by all means, but at the end of the day, fact is still fact. You can't change the facts. Otherwise, they wouldn't be facts. Till next time, my friends. Soup.